When people store data in Excel, it's very common to store it in what's known as a tabular data layout, simply known as a table. This is where the columns are categories, like sales rep, date, product, sales, and then the rows are records or transactions. When we type this information in this particular layout, we affectionately refer to it as what's known as a plain table. But on the home ribbon, if we go up to Format as Table, we can use this to upgrade our plain table into what's known as a proper data table. You can also do this by pressing Ctrl-T on the keyboard. Upgrading to a proper data table unleashes a whole suite of extra capabilities, and we can access those by clicking in the table and going up to Table Design. What I want to showcase is a very simple but often overlooked feature of data tables, and these are the data selection mechanisms within the table. When your table is small, maybe only a dozen columns and a few hundred rows, it's not difficult to just take your mouse and just highlight. But when your table grows to hundreds of columns and maybe hundreds of thousands of rows, selecting the data within that table becomes tedious and more complex. I'm going to demonstrate all of the different built-in mechanisms for very quickly and easily selecting data in a table can be, and then I will provide a few real use case examples. Feel free to download this file along with the solution file from the link in the video description so you can follow along. We'll start by selecting all of the items within a column but without the heading. In a proper data table, if you place your mouse pointer in the heading cell but place it very close to the top edge of the cell, there's a sweet spot where your pointer will land, and if you find that sweet spot, you're looking for this thick down pointing arrow. If we give it one click, that will select the entire column of the table. So if this table was 1,000,000 rows deep, with one click, you would have just selected 1,000,000 cells. To show what this would look like when using it in a formula, I'll come over here and type an equal sign, and I'll go find the sweet spot for that product column and give it one click, and you can see here that it says go to the table name data and select the product column. All column names go within a set of square brackets. And when I hit enter, this will be what the system sees if I reference that particular column. But what if we wanted to select all of the items including the heading? I'll type in an equal sign, and then we'll find the sweet spot above the word product, and we'll give it one click. That will select from the data table the product column. But if I give it a second left click, then it will say go to the data column and select all of the product column. That will include the headings. Now, if you had clicked this by accident and you did not want the headings, every single click after this point will just toggle you back and forth between data no header, data with header, data no header, data with header. So if I accept data with header and I press enter, I will get all of the data with the heading. And you can see the different ways that these references are created. They're both going to the data table. One's just getting the list of products. The other is getting the entire column of products. Now suppose we wanted to retrieve the list of headings, in other words, the header row. If you take your mouse pointer and place it to the left of the heading row, there's another sweet spot, and we're looking for this thick right pointing arrow. Because when I give that a click, that will select the entire header row. Now, how does this look as a reference in a formula? Well, we'll go over here and we'll type in equals, and then I'll find that sweet spot to the left of the header row, give it one click, and it says go to the data table and get me the headers. When I press enter, I will now see the heading row. Now, because my heading row goes side to side, my output goes side to side. Well, here's just a little extra trick. If you wanted to return the heading row, but wanted listed in a vertical orientation, just go to the formula bar, and after the equals, wrap this formula within a transpose function. Then you can get your headings to be listed in a vertical orientation. We saw that there was a sweet spot at the top of every header that we could click and select all the data within that column. But is there an equivalent to select an entire row? Each row has a sweet spot, and it's to the left of the first column within that table. And if we give that one click, that will select the entire row. Now, how does this manifest within a formula? So let's go over here and type in equals, and then we'll find the sweet spot for one of the rows within the table and give it a click. This selects the entire row. But because there's no defined structure for rows per se, we just get a traditional cell range reference, in this case B9 through I9. When we press enter, the results are returned. As with the heading example, the results are returned in a horizontal orientation because that's the way the data is stored in the table. But if we wanted this information to be returned in a vertical orientation, all we have to do is go back into the formula bar and wrap this reference inside of a transpose function. And then the data will be presented in a vertical orientation. And finally, What if you need to select all of the data, every column, every row? Data tables have another sweet spot located in the upper left corner, and we're looking for this thick diagonal down-pointing arrow. If I give it a click, I select all of the data, but not the headings. If I click a second time, I'll select the data with the headings. And then each single click after this point just toggles me between data with headings and data without headings. Now, how does this manifest within a formula? We'll go over here and type it in equals, and then I'll find my upper left corner sweet spot, give it one click, and then it says get everything from the table named data. When I hit enter, here is all the information repeated, but without the headings. If I wanted all of the data in the table, including the heading row, I'll type it in equals, go to my upper left corner sweet spot, click it one time for the data, click it a second time for the data and the headings. And so the reference says, go to the table named data and get me everything, get all. When I press enter, I get all of the data with the headers. Let's now look at two practical applications of selecting tables using these controls. We'll perform two lookups, one using the older VLOOKUP and another using the newer XLOOKUP. I have a drop-down of all of the employee names, and when I pick an employee name, I'd like to see the date and the product and the sales for that employee. So that data is in cell D2. For the VLOOKUP, we'll start with equals, and then VL for VLOOKUP. I want to look up the value in cell D2, comma, and I want to find that information within the entire blue table named data. So I'm going to go to the upper left corner sweet spot of that table and give it one click, and that just says data, because that's the name of the table. Comma, I want to return the date and the product and the sales. If you've used VLOOKUP, you've been taught that VLOOKUP can only bring back one item at a time. So I would have to write three separate VLOOKUPs, one for date, one for product, one for sales. But if you've seen my video on unthinkable lookup tricks, I'll put a link to this in the video description. VLOOKUPs can now return multiple items, provided you supply an array of return column numbers. So before, if I wanted to return the date, I would just type in a 2 for the second column, or a 3 for the product, or an 8 for the sales. But if I give it a list of columns, and lists always go in a set of curly braces, I can tell it to bring back something from column 2, column 3, and column 8. I'll type another comma, and I would like exact match behavior, so we'll put the obligatory false. Close parentheses. Now, if I hit enter, I will get the date, the product, and the sales, but it will be returned in a horizontal or row fashion. I want it returned in a vertical fashion. So we're going to go back to the beginning of the VLOOKUP and wrap this entire VLOOKUP inside of a transpose function. Close parentheses for the transpose, hit enter, and here is the VLOOKUP taking that person's name, going to the entire data table, and then returning information from columns 2, 3, and 8 in a transposed orientation. If I go up and change this to a new person, new information. The more modern XLOOKUP function targets data very differently than the older VLOOKUP function. In this case, we don't point to the entire table, we point to just specific columns. So for this example, let me pull my formula bar down a little bit. We're going to start with an equals and then XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP wants to know what we're looking up, and we're going to look up whatever's in cell D2, just like before, comma. But we don't give it the whole table, we just give it a single column. So finding the sweet spot above the word sales rep, we're looking for that thick down pointing arrow, I'm going to give it one click only, because I don't want the header information, comma. XLOOKUP cannot be fed that same array of return columns like VLOOKUP, but it does have the ability to behave that way, provided you pair it up with a choose columns function. So for the return array, I'm going to use a choose columns function. Choose columns wants to know where is the array of data. Well, this is where I'm going to, like the VLOOKUP, find that sweet spot in the upper left corner and select all of the data, comma, and then choose columns wants to know which columns am I actually going to pick from that table of data. In my case, I want the second, the third, and the 8th columns. We'll close parentheses for the choose columns, close parentheses for the XLOOKUP. If I stop here, my return information will go sideways or in a row fashion. I want this information to be presented vertically. So just like all the other examples, I'm going to go after the equal sign and wrap this entire XLOOKUP choose columns formula inside of a transpose function. Close parentheses on the end, press enter, and there we have our returned information. If we go to cell D2, pick somebody else from the list, we get all new information. Now you know all of the various ways that we can select data from a proper data table and then how that data will be referenced. And then for clarification, a couple real-world use cases. Remember to download these files from the link in the video description, check out that video on unthinkable lookup tricks, and then leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this. Thank you for watching, and remember, at BCTI, the learning never stops.